Aaron, tell me about your upbringing, where you grew up.
Grew up in the high desert, born and raised in Hesperia, California. And then we moved to Oak Hills, still, just a neighboring town right next door. But yeah, just born and raised in the desert, dude.
How quickly did you know you wanted to get into sports, soccer?
Really early for all sports. Soccer, I didn't know was going to be my path, probably until like middle school time. It's something that I excelled in more so than the others, but yeah, my mom had us in everything: basketball, football, soccer, baseball, cycling, boxing, everything. Every season the sport came around, we were in it since 3-4 years old.
Looking back, how do you think that equipped you to now be here as a elite professional athlete, a guy who's gone to do incredible things and achieve incredible things?
Yeah.
When you look at that upbringing, you say that kind of led to this?
Yeah, I think it just makes you a really well-rounded athlete. It makes you coachable. It makes you good at adapting to different situations and hardships. You learn how to win no matter what the sport is. You learn how to lose. Can
you take us through the positional run-through about where you played? You ended up as a center back. How quickly did you know, and what other positions did you play?
So I played center mid my whole life growing up, went to college as center mid. My first 2 professional teams, I was a center mid, and then when I went to New York is when I transitioned to center back. Jesse Marsh was the head coach. He said, you can't even come to preseason unless you agree to come in as a center back, because that's where I see you positionally.
That had to be a big conversation, because when you were with the Red Bulls, that's when your career
took off. Yeah, so I have him to thank for sure. At the end of that preseason, he told me that he wasn't going to give me a contract for the first team. He's like, I'm going to sign you to the second team here in New York, but I think you have more potential than the rest of the center backs on this roster. But you just don't know the position well enough right now. But he's like, if you give me 6 months to a year, I think you're going to be ahead of all these guys. But you have to trust me and take the second team contract for now. He has a really good reputation of sticking to his word, and he's not going to say things he doesn't mean. So we trusted him in that moment, and I'm glad I did.
The doubts, did those ever come in at some point?
Yeah, I think every player has moments, right, where doubt creeps in and goes through waves of confidence. Some days, some games you think you're the best player in the world, and then other games you think like, how am I even on this roster, right? It comes in waves, especially at that level when you're trying to make a first team. And every training session feels like it's a World Cup final for you in those moments. It's like he's watching every move I make, every touch I make. Yeah, there's little things that creep in, and I think it's just about believing in yourself in those moments.
You were part of the 2022 World Cup team for the United States. Do you remember that call? Do you remember when you knew you made it?
Oh yeah, definitely. You don't forget that one. I think leaving, there was a pre-World Cup camp for a lot of the MLS-based guys that were out of the playoffs. So we all went to this camp, and he told everyone at camp, like, listen, some of you guys here are not gonna make the squad. And I'll tell everyone at the end of camp. And I think it was like, let's just say he said, I'll tell everyone at the end of camp on Friday. And Friday comes around, and we're nervous the whole week. This is the biggest call of your life. And Friday morning or Friday afternoon, he's like, hey guys, I'm actually not gonna tell you today. I'm gonna call everyone tomorrow or Sunday. But then finally, you knew the calls were coming in on, let's just say Saturday or Sunday. And I got my call at I feel like 3 p.m., maybe even later, dude, on the East Coast time. So I'm like, what is taking so long?
When the phone rang?
I'm staring at my phone for hours.
You know it's Greg Berhalter there. Was it like, hey, how you doing? I go, just get to it.
It was a FaceTime, actually.
So
I answered the phone, and he was smiling right away, and it kind of put me at ease. Like, okay, he's not going to be grinning ear to ear if I didn't make the team. So I'm like, hey, coach, what's up? And then, yeah.
Final question, what has it meant for you to come back home now you've had some time to look back, get back to your comfort zone? What has been the best part?
Best part is family, having family close. For them to be able to come to my games so frequently, right? They would come to 1 or 2 games a year for my whole career, try to fly out to wherever I was and watch a home game or two, and then fly home, stay for a couple days. But to be able to come to so many games now at home, potentially all the games, and to have such a special environment at LAFC at BMO Stadium, it's special. I feel so fortunate, so grateful.